Hey everyone, it's Casey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have an original tag video, and a funny story about this is I created this last night without looking to see if it already exists, and it does. So this is going to be the Parks and Rec tag, but like I said, there's already a Parks and Rec tag, book tag out there. So I went on her channel. It was by Wonderlust. I'll link the original of her tag down below. I looked, and we have the same like setup where it's like character by character, but her qualities that go with the characters are completely different from mine. So I decided to do this anyways. So I'm going to call this the Parks and Rec Eagleton tag, which if you watch Parks and Rec, you will understand that reference. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Parks and Rec. It's one of my favorite shows. I have such great memories of watching it. I didn't watch it when it was on. I binged it like 2 summers ago, and I ended up finishing it when I was on vacation in San Diego. So I just have really great memories of watching the show, and it's kind of the show that I watch when I'm in like a super bummed out mood or need to be cheered up or whatnot. Even the name of my channel, Books and Stuff, comes from Parks and Rec. Their grocery store is called Food and Stuff, and so when I created my booktube channel, I wanted it to have something to do with Parks and Rec, so I came up with Books and Stuff. I mean, it's not the best channel name, guys, but whatever. So I'm super excited for this book tag, and yeah, let's just get into it. The first one is Leslie Knope, a character that you want to switch lives with. For me, it's going to be any character, basically in any like Nora Roberts romance, but specifically the ones that are in the Bride Quartet series. This series follows 4 friends who all work in the bridal shop. So one's the wedding planner, one's the florist, the cake decorator, and then the photographer. And I love these books specifically because they are rich. Well, not rich, but they're well off. They are passionate about their jobs and love them and get to be creative at them. They fall in love with like a chiseled man, and their problems are so manageable within like the 300 pages. I would love that life. I would love to be doing something I'm passionate about. I would love to have more money than I do. I would love to have a chiseled husband. Dreams. Number 2 is Perkins, your favorite side character or group of friends. So for me, this was hard to kind of choose because there's a lot of groups of friends I really like. But I ended up choosing a specific side character. I chose Deb from What Happened to Goodbye by Sarah Dessen. Deb in this book, she's very high strung. She's like the president of her student council. She, is one of those type of people who's very much the leader at school. Did I mention high strung? She has a lot going on, and she looks so put together, but what you find out when you read this is that she's not, that she struggles to have friends, and that she doesn't like that she's so high strung and so type A. She reminds me a lot of the character, Reese Witherspoon's character in Election, like kind of like that. Just they have a lot going on, and they need to chillax for a second, but I love Deb in this book. Number 3 is Ron Swanson. This is a book that's perfect to read outside or reminds you of the outdoors. I have 2 books for this. The first book is The Protector by Jodi Ellen Malpez, I guess. I bought this book last November to read when my family went over Thanksgiving to a beach house in North Carolina. I didn't actually end up reading this at all, let alone on the beach. But I still look at it, and when I think of it, I think of being on the beach and the house, and so this one definitely. The second one I have is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I also haven't read this completely. I've read like the first 100 pages of it. This book has a ton of description though, and it takes place in Texas, and it talks a lot about how dry it is and how everything's coated with a layer of dust, and the rivers are all dried out and everything. And so the way that Larry McMurtry kind of paints the picture, I could practically taste like the dust in my mouth. He's really good author. Number 4 is April Ludgate, a character that would murder you in your sleep. April would definitely murder me in my sleep. She would not like me at all. She would think I was ridiculous. But anyway, this isn't about me. I picked, this is going to be an interesting one, Mr. Collins from Pride and Prejudice. If you remember, Mr. Collins is Lizzie's cousin / suitor. Yeah, questionable, but whatever. It was back in time. So he also is very high-strung and very concerned with appearances, and I just know that he eventually snapped and killed his entire family. I just know that in my bones that that's what happened. Number 5 is Andy Dwyer, a character or book that is just plain dumb, but you can't help but like. So for me, again, this would be basically any Nora Roberts book, any Debbie May Cumberbatch Christmas book, any like trashy romance with a cowboy on the cover. These books are terrible. Well, not terrible. They're just nothing new. They're predictable. They're unrealistic, but I love them. I especially love reading them when I'm going through like a really stressful time. When I was moving, I read them. I just think that because they are predictable and because they always have a happy ending, the girl always gets with the guy, they're always well off, their problems are so manageable that they're really kind of brainless, and they really are an escape whenever I'm super stressed out or anything. I love these type of books, but they are stupid. Number 6 is Chris Traeger. Literally the most beautiful book that you own. For me, this is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I've never actually read this, but I'm going to soon-ish. But I love this book. Aesthetically, it's like everything I want like my house to be. The blues, kind of like the gradient effect, the spine. I freaking love this book. It is... I just love it. I love this particular shade of like dark blue. Love this book. I hope it's like as good. I hope that I still like it, because I really don't keep books I don't like, but I really want to keep them. Number 6 is one of my favorite characters. I mean, he's like tied. It's Ben Wyatt, and this would be the nerdiest book or character you've read. For me, this is Clark in The Unexpected. Oh, this is the wrong book. For me, this is Clark in The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This is probably my favorite Morgan Matson book, and I especially loved Clark. He is a writer, he's nerdy, they make fun of him because his name is Clark. I love everything about Clark. Number 8 is Jerry, Larry, Terry, and Carrie, a book that you unjustifiably hate. For me, this is The Orphan Train by Christina Baker Klein. I've never actually read this book because I hate the part of history about orphan trains. And I have no reason for it. I have no reason for why I hate orphan trains. I despised it. There were like a couple episodes on Little House on the Prairie when I was a kid that dealt with like the orphan train, and I hated those episodes. I cannot stand orphan trains, but I have no reason to. Number 9 is Donna Meagle, a badass character. For me, this is Ellie in the Tomorrow series. This is the first book, Tomorrow When the War Began. I've actually done a whole underrated book series about this series. I'll link it down below. It is set in Australia, and it's basically where the town that Ellie lives in is over kind of like the 4th of July, whatever the equivalent of Australia's 4th of July is. Her town and all of Australia get invaded by an unknown other country. It never says what other country it is. And so Ellie and her friends kind of go in hiding and have to decide. They're 17 and they have to decide if they're gonna fight against this like army, or how are they gonna get their families out, things like that. It takes place over 7 books, and then there is 3 parts like companion series called the Ellie Chronicles. I haven't actually read the Ellie Chronicles, but I have read all of the Tomorrow series, and I loved it. So I would definitely read these if you're looking for like a badass group of friends. They are such good books. Number 10 is Tom Haverford, your favorite business book or character who is just devoted to all of his businesses. I chose Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. That's kind of hard to see. So this book is specifically for women in business, and about how to become engaged in your career, how to literally lean into it and be heard and to share your opinions. I think it's definitely kind of just required reading essentially for any woman that's in, especially the corporate work world. But I don't work in that kind of environment, but I still found it very helpful. Just about, being empowered and not being intimidated by the men in the room. So the thing about this book is I'm 100% sure that at some point Tom has read Lean In. Like, that seems like a book, even though it's geared towards women, that Tom would 100% read. And we all know Leslie read it, for sure. Number 11 is probably my favorite character, and that is Burt Macklin. That is a character that you'd like to switch lives with for a day. My pick goes to Wonder Woman. So this is Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. I haven't gotten around to reading this, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be reading it within a month or two. But yeah, I would love to just be so kick-ass even for just a day. It'd be so fun. Especially if Steve Trevor was there. Especially if it was Steve Trevor, but Chris Pine Steve Trevor. I'm all about that. So, yep, I would love to be Wonder Woman. Number 13 is Lil Sebastian, and this is your favorite animal in a book. This one was hard. Like, there are a lot of kind of animals I like in books, but my favorite is Marley, and from Marley and Me by John Gorgon. So this was also made into a movie, but I read the book first, and I sobbed like a baby with this book. Marley is just such a lovable little dog, and oh my gosh, and then the ends kind of ripped my heart out. But I really like that book. If you haven't, for some reason, haven't read it and haven't watched the movie, it's a really good. It's nonfiction about like John's life with his new dog Marley, and it crosses time and about just his life with Marley. It's really good. And number 13 is probably the best character of Parks and Rec, and that is Pawnee. And this would be the town or the setting that you'd just love to go and visit or live in. For me, this was interesting. If you watch my channel, you might be a little bit shocked, but it is going to be Sparrow from The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. So it's Sparrow, Oregon. And I didn't really like this book. I mean, it was okay. I think I give it 3 stars. It was fine. But I did really like the town, and I could see myself really like living there. It's in Oregon, and it's kind of it's a little bit of a spooky town. It reminded me kind of like Forks from Twilight, where it was kind of always raining and kind of gloomy. But it was also a smallish town, so it seemed, people kind of talk bad about the town of Sparrow and the people in it, but still there was like tight-knit community, and it just seemed like a really good place to like maybe to visit, not to live there, and kind of cozy up with a book at your hotel, or to go and like drink coffee and watch it rain. I don't know. I kind of like the gloomy weather like that. I kind of find it a little bit romantic and everything. But anyways, that was the Parks and Rec Eagleton tag. I'm not going to tag anyone because I honestly, since this tag already existed, I don't know if people will do it. But if you want to do it, please do it, and then give me the link down below, and I'll definitely go check it out. I would love to do it, or just if you want to talk in the comments about Parks and Rec and who your favorite character is. I would love to discuss anything related to Parks and Rec. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.